So, we join back in with our adventurers after last week. They continued their fight with the corrupted angels, Ichi managing to down one of them, while Eleni and Dante furiously battle with the other two, and Volu making their way back up from having fallen into a strange crevasse, having found an almost similar replica of the portal, but with a real amulet hanging from it. However, with the battle ensuing above, we ended as Ichi manipulated the world around them to bring the Volu and the crevasse up to the surface, almost rejoining it. If you imagine now, the log house is still split and like leaning, but the ground itself is like, if it wasn't for the fact it changes texture, you wouldn't know it was not supposed to be here. It almost like merges left and right, but it does go from like worked stone of the log house floor to like crevasse style stone. The spotlight is on yourselves as the two angels look fairly injured but are still pressing down.
So they're looking pretty injured, yeah?
Yeah.
So I do actually want to try something if Chris is going to give me a thumbs up for what I've just sent him.
Yep, sure.
You try
Give
it?
it a go.
Okay.
Yep.
So Liam, what I want to do is I want to initiate a tag team. I want to tell my companion moths, so this is separate to the beetles, to fly at the angel in front of Dante and distract him because they have an experience called, where the hell's it gone? Bold distraction.
Okay.
So I can use a spellcast roll to command them to go and distract the thing in front of Dante, and they can, in theory, attack. Maybe I can only do one thing, but then. So I want to be able to do that and attack with them while Dante does his attack with advantage because they're distracted. And I'll spend 3 hope to allow that.
Well, so I'm going to say, so I think you don't necessarily need to spend 3 hope, because the act of spending 3 hope is actually that you both make the roll and you take the better.
So yeah, so
you can still do what you're saying. You can spend the hope. I don't know. Do you have to spend to command?
I spend 1 hope to add the experience like you would normally.
Okay, so and I thought there was stress or something for the command. Is there nothing for the?
So I make a spellcast roll and command them to take an action, and then I'd only spend a hope if I'm adding the experience, which is that bold distraction.
So that's the hope you need to spend, and that will provide an advantage.
It will provide. Oh, cool! So he'll get the advantage anyway.
D6.
Yeah, it'll provide the D6 advantage because this is it. Technically, tag team just lets you both roll the.
So the definition of tag team roll, just so everybody, including viewers, can see this. Once per session, each player can choose to spend 3 hope and initiate a tag team roll between their characters and another PC. When you do, work with the other character's player to describe how you combine your actions in a unique and exciting way. You both make separate action rolls, but before resolving the roll's outcome, choose one of the rolls to apply for both of your results. On a roll with hope, all PCs involved gain hope. On a roll with fear, the GM gains fear for each PC involved. If you succeed a tag team roll attack, you both roll damage, then add it together to determine the damage dealt.
So effectively, you might have a lower roll, but you might want to take the hope rather than giving if you thought it was still high enough, so you get to choose which one. But no, I'm happy to not do the tag team and just do it if it's going to give advantage.
Like I think what you described would still give advantage.
Okay.
So make the spellcasting roll with your. So first, I'm going to ask for a spellcasting roll with no hope, unless you're doing it your experience.
No, I'm just going to roll it first, and then I'm going to spend a.
And then we'll do an agility, and then I'm going to ask for an agility roll from them with the experience on.
Oh, so that's actually 20 total with hope.
Okay, mark
and then I'm
hope,
and then I'm going to spend that hope. Oh, actually, I don't know if I need to.
Well, do you want... So they're going to now need to make an agility roll, and if you want to add their experience onto it, that's where you would spend the one you've just gained.
What are their
So why are
experience?
they rolling an agility? Sorry, hon.
To distract them. Because they've got the bold distraction experience, but that just gives them a +3, +2 or whatever to doing it,
+2.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that gives them a +2
Right.
on the roll. So I'm going to ask for an agility from them.
Right, okay.
As they sort of flutter in its face and around him, but not get attacked, essentially. You're just sort of sweeping through them.
I don't know what their agility would be.
Do they not have...
It just says I'm making the spellcast roll to enable... That's their roll almost for them to do what I'm asking them to do.
I thought the Daggerheart companion had its own stat.
No, it doesn't. It's got its own evasion. It's got its own
Okay,
attack.
in which case it should have been spent on to add onto that onto your roll, which I didn't get. So don't worry about it. Gain yourself a hope.
Oh, okay.
But yes, they do fly up and swarm around them, giving Dante an opportunity.
Cool. Thank you.
Goes to give a whack. Oh man, so close again. Bollocks to you. So with advantage, do I have to use advantage? Is it maintained? Does it stay there? Or is it
Only
just...
as long as
How long does advantage last?
Eleni would have to sustain it.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're just flying in the way of the guy's face and swirling around him to give you that moment of...
I just rolled a 10, 11 anyways with fear. So 21 plus the advantage, 25.
Definitely hits, but I go up to 6 fear.
Bugger. And damage-wise, that would have been a critical because that's 2 4s, but that doesn't do anything in damage. So fuck you. So that was...
Don't forget to add your...
Don't
no,
worry,
this is you.
Yeah. So that was 8 plus... What is it? Plus 6, it says here. Yeah. So is that 14? And then 2 points of fire damage on top. I guess it's fire damage, isn't it? Yeah.
So 16.
Yep.
Okay, so that is... Okay, and the one in front of you also disappears in flames, and so that's the one that isn't marked. So there's just the marked, the Ranger foe one that's on Eleni left.
Oh, I've got a really simple one that we could do, but it requires Eleni to initiate it.
I'm going to very quickly pop to Volu as well, because just to offer, because Volu's been... You've been raised up. You just see the moth spur out from Eleni and Dante strike one down, and you can see a final one that looks like it's got holes and tears through it, but it's viciously attacking. And actually, Volu, I am going to come back to you, but they did roll with fear, so I'm going to make an attack on Eleni as their...
So there's only one left?
Only one left.
And how close are they to me? Are they to me? Very close range?
I'd say close range. Where each...
Because you've got melee. You've got melee, then very close.
Yeah, I'm going to say very close. And actually, Eleni, as the strikes come down, that you're beetly like moths, not mechanically, so it's not using them, but it gets in the way as they only roll a 5, and they're just... every strike is being like caught by a moth or knocked aside by a beetle.
Perfect.
And then, sorry, Tabolu. So yeah, there's just this one in very close range, just sort of clawing on Eleni sort of pressed up against a bit of a wall with like the moths and stuff defending her.
Okay, I am going to... Right, how far... Okay, no, right, no. The attacking Eleni, I'm not even going to bother with that. I am going to let out my hands, and I am going to use one of my foundation features, Spirit Weapon. So I can then take my equipped weapon and fly it from my hand and attack adversaries up to a close range.
Okay, nice. Yeah, very nice.
So the little runes that I've had kind of appear since I've entered into this world kind of fly out of my hands and will go straight for the angel attacking Eleni.
Nice, very cool.
What do I roll
make
again?
your,
Just
what roll does it say? What stat does it say with the weapon?
Search it again. What have I got? I've got improved hand runes. Instinct.
Okay, so make an instinct roll.
So instinct. Got that. That is a 10.
Okay.
With hope.
Mark yourself a hope. However, as the runes are flying towards it, it turns at the last second and holds up its hands with a like pinkish purplish shield forming in between itself and the runes.
Okay, in that case, let me jump back to the. I'm trying to do it on the fly, but I'm also trying to learn. Oh, where is it? Spirit weapon, spirit weapon. Okay. Oh no, never mind.
Okay, in which case I'm going to offer the spotlight out as Volu sort of slams the runes against the shield and distracts it for a second.
Okay.
So Eleni, for you, it's almost just turned its back on you and shielded against this attack.
Right. So I'm going to have another go at doing a tag team, and again, tell me whether you think this would work.
Yeah.
So I can use my bow even in melee range. I've just been checking. Apparently the distance is the maximum distance.
Okay, cool.
Again, I can't see anything that I've just been looking in the rules.
Yeah, tell us in the comments if we're wrong.
Yeah. How far is Ichi from this guy?
Within very close. Ichi's sort of in between all three of you at the minute.
So could I almost shoot him in the back and push him into Ichi, and Ichi attack at the same time, and us both sort of do it in one?
So, yeah, very easily. So you spend 3 hope. Both of you would make the roll, and we'll see how it goes from there.
So
Ichi will aim low to try to. So the push kind of goes high-low.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm sort of shooting in between the shoulder blades, and Ichi's like almost sweeping his feet
Sweeping the low.
So okay, so we're both rolling, and this is.
I'll give.
Oh yeah.
I will give Ichi one of my prayer dice.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
I can do it as long as they're within far range.
Yeah, all good. As you see the maneuver and
so
push
that's
out your
plus
bonus
2 for Ichi.
So I rolled a 19 with hope.
Okay, Mark. He said, Mark. So wait. Well, it depends what we
Wait
pick.
to see what.
Well, actually, I'll say that, Volu. You're not giving to any one person at the minute. It's almost
giving it
like
to the tag team.
Will go to the tag, whichever is chosen.
I've got 16 with hope.
Okay, so obviously going with the 19, so the 2 floats, that energy, all the sort of combined energies merging together.
So Ichi gets a hope as well.
So Ichi and Eleni get a hope. As your arrows, your arrow strikes them in the chest, and they almost catch it to prevent it going all the way in. But the force sliding them back as Ichi swings about mid riff level, carving them, and you both do the damage?
We both do damage. So I've just rolled 16 damage, and then we add Ichi's to that.
Ichi's is nice. 15 points.
So that's 31 total.
31 definitely into severe as you rip this the final corrupted angel in half.
Brilliant.
And the room and the space fall silent.
Okay.
That was pretty intense. Who took the most damage?
I'm pretty hurt.
Let me see if I can help. And Volu will try, like he's casting heal wounds, but it'll go over and touch him, and that allows me to use my foundation feature, sparing touch, which
and
you can either get 2 hit points or 2 stress back.
Dante will take 2 hit points because he doesn't actually have stress.
Eachy.
Oh, well,
Eachy, not
then
Dante.
well, it was Dante that said it.
He was,
It wasn't Ichi.
Oh, I heard Ichi's voice. Sorry.
I mean, that's fine. I'm gonna make him reduce stress. I'll make him reduce stress. Either or.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 5 hit points left, so I'm doing all right there. I'm at 3 stress out of 6, but I can probably last a little bit longer.
I can maybe help you as well if I can spend one of my domains.
Dante has 3 hit points, and
okay, I can maybe help you.
Three left, Chris, or 3 that you've marked. How many?
I mean, to be fair, that's exactly the same.
Oh, so right, okay. So you're at half health.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ichi just needs armor. Like his health is even before the 2 hit points.
But we can't fix that till we rest, and I don't know if we want to rest yet. I don't know if we want to do that. I think Eleni should be like breathing fairly heavily after all that attacking by that angel thing. And she's just gonna go, what the fuck was that? Like,
Jesus Christ.
Where did you go? You fell down a hole?
And as you all look, there's now this, again, corrupted replica. So for all of you looking, it definitely is an attempt to replicate the stone portal you've seen before.
Yeah.
But also, this one maybe looks like it was trying to replicate another one. Elaine, as you look, like, there's grain on this one as if it was made of wood, as opposed to the definite stone archway that you saw. And it does have, like, twigs and stuff hanging off it. And there's, like, corrupted amulets and little corrupted messages sort of, like, dangling. And then this singular, real amulet hanging on off the archway about midway.
I would gesture at the amulet with the end of my bow almost, and just say to Volu, "Have you done anything with that yet?"
I went to go touch it, but then all of a sudden I was like vaulted into the air. It felt like I was being propelled, I don't know, 50 feet into the air for some reason.
Is it possible to lift the amulet off with the end of my bow, Liam?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to
as you sort of pull it away, first off, unlike some of the other objects that you've had pulled out of corrupted things, there's almost like that, like, if you imagine tarry substance, if you, like, pull out the object and it sticks to it. As you pull this object, it's like pulling it out of water.
Okay.
The corruption just doesn't repel from it, but just slicks off it.
Yeah.
As you pull it away. And you would see there is almost like a very dull silver chain. Dangling from it is like a carved, so it at first looks like black metal, like a black metal casing.
Okay.
Eleni, as you pull it closer, you think again maybe wood. And it's a casing around a translucent stone that almost looks like, if you hold it upright, it's like the moon is in a wooden cage. Almost like looking at the moon through a forest. If you imagine, like, if you were a person stood looking at the moon through the forest, it's almost like that when you're holding it up at that distance. Okay. And you can see inside the gem, as you sort of pull it closer, there's a thin thread of light that seems to be sort of looping around itself. Almost like forming
is it moving, or is it just...
Yeah, almost like it's forming a spiral and then untying itself, and then forming a spiral and then untying itself.
I've still got my beetles swirling. It doesn't say that they drop until I take damage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to very carefully reach out and touch the amulet.
Okay. As you touch it, there's no immediate reaction, but it feels cold and slightly heavy, heavier than you were expecting. And your moths are curious. They've never seen anything like this before. They're not scared of it.
Okay.
But definitely interesting. And as you pull it closer, you can see that around the outside of the wooded cages section is almost like this very thin gold thread. And for Eleni, it almost reminds you of almost like that's an air cage. But as you're sort of thinking about it, it's almost like a depiction of a plane barrier. If you imagine if that gem inside was the world and that was the barrier of the plane.
Okay.
It's almost like that gold trim around it.
I would say this out loud. I would just almost it looks. Does this look like when you see those drawings of the different planes and they sort of put an edging around the outside? And can you guys see that silvery thing inside?
Dante wants to take a look, because formerly planes were kind of his shebang.
Yeah.
I'd say drop me a knowledge.
I want to do. I'm going to use one of my hopes. I've got a couple of hopes now. Apparently, I have 3 hopes. Where did I get 3 hopes from?
Because we got you got a hope from the tag team thing.
That one should have been Ichi. No, I think you should be on 2.
Yeah, I thought I had 2.
Yeah, Ichi should have got 1.
Did I?
Are you
Yeah,
still on
no,
Silver as well, Liam?
I'm on 6 first, so yes.
I'm going to use I am the genie's bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, say, his knowledge of planes will be useful here. So what is this? Sorry, is this a
knowledge roll?
Okay, so that's a +0. Oh, that's nice. That's 19 plus 3, so 22 with hope.
Okay, mark yourself a hope. As you're looking, definitely gives you that vibe, Dante. And also, interestingly, so at a glance, all of these items would seem dull and passable, right? You would almost glance over this if it was in a tray of jewelry. But looking at it, it's so the blackened rods that seem to be capturing the gem inside, you actually think that's ironwood. And the gold trim is almost as it sort of, as your fingers touch it, it almost reacts to your fire.
Ironwood's the stuff from where Bolly grew up, right? Is that right? That was the iron. Yeah,
the
iron oaks.
This is ironwood, and you're definitely right. It is planar. Could this be Fae?
Maybe, but I feel like it's more connected to Volley than us if it's ironwood and it's.
Say that Ichi would also say, I'm not seeing Fae energy on it.
It's curious that we keep. The reason I asked was this land looks like a mirror image of, or it did look like a mirror image of our plane first. And now, just going to gesture around, I'm assuming it looks like Fireplane.
Not entirely. There is that sort of mixed shift where being inside a building, there's almost that aspect of it could be any of them outside the window. You sort of glance at that window and you're getting a bit of a red tint, but then out of that window, you definitely think you can hear birds in a spring. It's almost like while you're unable to see it for certain, it stays unconfirmed.
We're getting mixed things, was here. I sat in that chair, I felt fire. Fireplane. We then had Celestials come down.
Didn't Ichi say that he thought he'd been able to come through here because of a mixture of your fire and Volu's Fae and...
I believe it is.
Well, yes, I did actually.
There are definitely aspects of each of the planar energies within this space. When you all entered, I saw energies reach out towards you. I wondered if your links to your individual realms give you access here. The real objects are interesting. Maybe something that was left here, or...
Is the chair still there?
The chair is still there, yeah.
It's a wooden chair, right?
It's the real enemy.
I don't know. I never actually described the...
I thought you did describe the chair, but I haven't got my notes on me.
I thought you said just it was a throne.
Yeah, you said
It
was
is throne-like. I don't think I described like making like stuff though.
You just said it wasn't corrupted.
Yeah, it just said it wasn't corrupted.
And
It's almost like a very, very large. It's actually, it looks like, and from Dante that sat in it, it felt more like iron or like some sort of metal for the frame, but has like plush red leather seating and you know, like the edges and the trims and...
Okay. I was just making sure it wasn't made out of the same wood that was in the...
Doesn't seem to be ironwood.
Yes, shall we take this?
Can I take a closer look?
Volu, the second the amulet touches your hand, there's almost like that feeling in your stomach you get on, like, that we know as we get on roller coasters, when everything just seems to like lift up inside you. And as you sort of like find yourself catching your breath, for a second, you're stood at the peak of a mountaintop. And as you look outwards, you're almost stood at the point where three worlds are joined. As you look out over that way, you can see green twilight forests, fey creatures floating above the tree lines, and you recognize the glades from the Feywild. Out to your right, you see burning seas of glass and mountains of fire spewing out endless streams of lava. And finally, as you turn around, large golden mountains, streams of radiant light, unicorns galloping, and Pegasus flying through the skies. And then you blink and you are holding the amulet back, still safe in the room.
You okay, Volu?
We talked about the connections that had faced the infection, and they were the fire plane, the Fae, and the Celestials, right?
And that was where the kinds of rooms that we went through in that temple as well, right? There was...
I think this is linked to them, that somehow. They just keep reappearing. I think we need to keep this safe. Like, maybe we have like a box or something we can keep it in, like maybe even lead so people can't find it. I feel like it's as important. And as I say that, I feel like a rumble in my pocket. And I go, I pull out of the thematic pack that I have a lead box, and I'll spend a hope to do it.
Okay, I like that.
Nice.
But also, as you're doing that, knock off the hope and add yourself a little tiny lead box. Almost in the like passion as you're sort of shaking the amulet. Again, classically for us players, do you know in Star Wars or any sort of sci-fi when they activate a hologram and it like into the space that you're stood in, and there's almost like, as you shake it, for a second there's like a star map.
Oh shit! Did you see that?
and it like lit up the room. But also for those of you that got like a spot on the face, it was like, oh shit, the brightness, like it was something shone a light in your eyes. And Bolu, I'm gonna say that you missed it for a second because you're like reaching down for the rumble, but you catch the like brightness as you're like.
I'm gonna be like, do that again. What did you do? Whatever you did, just do it again.
I don't think I can make another box appear out of anywhere.
No, did you shake it? Did you press it in a certain way? Like,
I don't know. I don't know what I did. I was just looking around, and
think about
as I
the
look
different
round, I
planes.
would be like moving my hands as I'm looking round, and
think about the planes again.
Okay. For a second, I swear I saw elements of the fire plane and the Feywild and the Celestial, and it looked like they were all interconnected into this one central point, and I don't know what was going on.
And as he's describing, and again, almost when he's purposefully describing, not as much, but again, as he sort of loses himself in the ramble a little bit, again, very slowly, almost that central gem starts to emanate light. And glowing out into the room is like you stood in the center of a star map. For everyone else looking, they are just white, like white stars dotted around, some smaller than others, some bigger than others. For Volu, as you sort of stop and look, firstly, as you glance over, they're all different colours. There's not a single white one in the bunch. And as you stop and fix on any one, it zooms in for you. Some are dull, and almost like it zooms in and it's just a dull version of this sort of star, like green or red or purple star, whatever it seems to be. But on some, there are halfling markers in halfling written. Some just say danger. Some say never again. Some are marked home or safe. So for the others, as you're looking, Bolu's just sort of fixed and staring, and when it zooms in for him, he just sort of seems to stare off into space and almost go a little bit like glazed. Enough that you can tell something is happening. And I think each you would probably, after a moment, pause, sort of put a hand on Bolu's shoulder. Are you still okay?
Do you guys know where any of this is, or?
Looks like a lot of white stars.
if I start to circle Liam, like just walk around it, can I use my simple life in the woods experience to see, do I recognize any constellations? Like if I'm walking around.
I like the thinker. You're sort of thinking about it in a more simplistic way.
As if I was out in the woods and I was looking at the sky and I was seeing, I'm looking for patterns that I might recognize.
Mm-hmm. Give me I'm going to say instinct.
Okay.
So sort of taking a look, and you can
I'll spend my
your
hope
and add
to, yeah.
Oh yeah, I need to buy that hope off that I spent.
Oh no, that is terrible. That is a 13 with fear. No, with hope, sorry. 9 hope, 1 fear, and +3. Yeah, 13 with hope.
Okay, so as you're looking, mark yourself a hope. You don't see any star constellations, but actually, Eleni, as you take the step back, from when you were like stood within it, it almost seemed like it was filling the whole space. As if there's, an entire sphere of balls of light almost. But actually, now that you're looking from the outside, it's more like a interconnected path. It still looks like it's moving around maybe a globe.
Okay.
But actually, now that you sort of stepped outside, there's almost like a much heavier section that seems explored in like a ball over here. There's a more dense star pattern. and then there's like outstretches that reach a bit of a section over here and out.
So
And
as
it
if they
almost
started from one place and then went exploring out from a point.
seems so, but almost if you imagine the shape of like the classic shape of like a bacteria, where it's like a ball in the middle and then like stretchy out oval shape attached, stretchy out oval shape attached. It's almost like that.
The stuff in the middle where there's the cluster.
And to be clear, when for Volu, because obviously Eleni's sort of moving around, the bit that Volu seems to be stood in the centre of is off this central cluster, and it seems to be its own little section of star points.
I'm gonna say to Volu, just step towards me a second. I want to see if when he moves, the rest of it moves with him.
So as he begins
to
take a few steps back, it does sort of shift, but less like it's necessarily maybe going with Volu and more like it's the
thing.
Amulet. And for Volu, as he's moving, you almost get the impression you would either have it worn and it shows in front of you, and then it would move with you as you're sort of moving through, which for Volu obviously is why things zoom in. You get for Volu, obviously you guys aren't seeing this, but the impression for Volu is you would stand still. However, you also could set it down and then move through it because
Is he facing the cluster bit, or is it like you said it was off to the side of him? It's
if you imagine he's holding it off to his right and it's shining behind him, in front of him, under him, although the bit he stood in and seems to be like looking at is off the central home cluster, as it were.
In that area. So I'm going to actually say, Dante, Ichi, sorry, Volu, stay there a second, and I'm going to pull them over to where I am, and I'm going to say, look, it's like people have travelled out and mapped from where Volu's standing. There's like and I'm going to try and get them to see what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Can I? Sorry, are you carrying on, Noah?
No, as they're looking, go jump.
Yeah. As they're looking, can I like in? Sorry, go on.
No, I'm just going to say while we're doing this bit with Volu, Chris, do you want to roll knowledge or instinct from you and Nietzsche? I'm not bothered which. So sorry, Volu, continue.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, like, with the stuff flashing around, can I try and think about the story of when I met Kanda and she told me how I came into the Fae, the story of all the halflings being taken and moved around, and see if that has any effect?
So you start thinking about that story, and they start moving, and it does start sort of shifting away from you.
Am I rolling both people's or just one?
Yes, it doesn't matter if
because Dante was 14 with hope. Ichi was 11 with fear.
Okay.
So blame Ichi.
So I'm up to 7 fear now. But as they think about this, everybody else starts to see the movement. Again, still all white, but it looks like it's all shifting around Volu. And at first, Volu, it seems undecided. It's like it is like briefly stopping on points, but like not fully stopping, if that makes sense. But eventually, your mind sort of is, because obviously you're thinking about being, the time how you were brought in, the halflings going missing. But eventually, you're almost focusing on like you being taken, as it were. And it settles on a dot that is an almost normal slate grey in colour for Volu, like actually a lot of the dots in this area seem to be. And as it brings in close, there's a little home symbol and half over.
I like manifest that thought more and see if something happens.
As you focus on it more, all of a sudden, all of the dots just disappear. But Volu, like when you were trusting that sort of sense and step out, and and the times that you got lost and just wandered and trusted your gut, and you just feel like if you walk that way. And actually, Volu, it's almost like you feel like there's a bit of string attached to you, and that if you just follow that bit of string, it will lead to path over.
I would run in that direction.
Well, so right now it's just into a wall. Obviously, like you're in a building.
I could figure out it's in a building. I'd like run out the building to get to it, but the
That's
feeling of finding home would just override everything, and I'd just run.
Okay, so for the others, Volu turns tails and starts sprinting out.
I will follow.
Part of me wants to just do attack of opportunity just so I can hold him.
Attacks of opportunity don't exist in.
It does for me.
Yeah, it
does for me. I've got it as a feature. Just say like suddenly seeing.
I mean, you've got to remember you are all fast enough to keep up with Volu. He doesn't have anything to boost his little halfling.
I won't try and stop him. I'm more curious about where he's going, and so if he doesn't look scared, if he looks like he's running to something, not away from something, I would just follow him.
We are leaving this portal though.
For now, yeah. I mean, it's not going anywhere as far as I'm aware, but I want to follow him to where he goes.
On this plane, seriously?
But
it wasn't here a moment ago.
Well, it was. It was underneath.
Yeah.
Volu with the thought that he could find his home, he's gonna not.
Absolutely, yeah.
Portal doesn't even enter his head. Like if someone wants to stay and do the portal, that's not even Volu's mind. He's gone. Everybody
else would have pegged it. Dante would have been like, yeah, sure, okay. We all know Ichi would have just run with him. So, yeah, Dante will just go. I want to say Dante will be on lookout, which is kind of funny. Just because going in planes, following, magical things doesn't always end to positive outcomes. So, like, just kind of keeping an eye on potentially what could be happening.
Okay. So Volu, you step out and just start sprinting. For Volu, you almost hit that pace like you do in the Feywild, where you're definitely not just zooming past things, but things seem to just be blurring past you. For the others, it's like the landscape is shifting around him at his feet. 1 second he steps and there's like desert. Next steps, forest is springing up around him. And for you guys, I'm going to ask for an agility to keep up, as you're almost occasionally like, shit, a bush, as it just like sprouts up out of nowhere, or...
Yeah. 20 with hope for Dante.
I got a double 5.
Ooh. Oh, well, that's on the floor.
So you clear a hope.
That means you can stress as well.
And stress.
And good old. I feel like this is just straight up Ichi at this point, because he's gone back. He's doing his normal. So that's 12, 13 with fear.
Okay, I'm on 8 now.
I'm just happy to be gaining some hope, although I would love Ichi to have some hope.
And I'm going to say the critical is going to outweigh the failure from Ichi. Is almost using a trail of moths. You're almost like letting out your moths one by one, like a breadcrumb trail behind you, as you're keeping up easily with Volu's pace. Ichi occasionally does, and Dante, you'd see like, again, it is just like where he was about to step becomes a ditch, and he's like, fuck, shit, pulls himself about the ditch. It's the landscape changing underneath him, but with the trail of moths, doesn't get lost or pulled away from the path. Volu, eventually, you sort of stumble, almost like you've tripped, but more like you're running so quickly. You
fucking cat.
Keep the cat out the room.
I thought you were imitating a trip then. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a nice bit of acting from Chris.
Yeah, it was fucking realistic, wasn't it? Jesus.
But yes, it's more the kind of trip you do when you're running too fast and your legs sort of fall out from under you.
Mm.
And you roll out and you sort of standing or sort of kneeling in a bit of a open glade bit, but at the foot of a cave entrance. But as you look and try to look deeper, there's just again, completely slate grey energy sort of warding the front of the cave. As the others, so Volo, as you're sort of looking, there's nothing past it. If you imagine it looks, it's magical because of the way it looks, but it looks like somebody's got a piece of slate grey metal and just fit it to the doorway. It's completely opaque. You can't see through it. And you're in close. You're like 20 feet-ish from it. And I'd say, Volo, as you're sort of looking and pulling you to feet, Lenny would arrive first, with slowly the others arriving. What would you like to do, Volo, as you're looking at this weird cave entrance?
That is kind of the first time that Volo takes a moment to think. And he's like, oh, like this element of anxiety and fear hits. And as he sees Eleni come up next to him, he looks up to her, and I think that could be my home. I think we found. We found.
Do you mean the Fae, or do you mean half over?
As I was looking at the stars and think something just called to me and said that this would lead to Andover, and without a thought, I thought I needed to go there, but now that I'm here, what if I go there and I don't feel at home? What if I still feel lost? And what do I do then?
Is there a door, or is it completely blocked off on the cave?
It just looks like a metal sheet, like slate grey.
I would crouch down so that I'm more on your level, right, face to face. And I would say, I think you have to follow your heart, Volu. I think you have to. I mean, you're made to wander, right? We're meant to follow you. Does it feel right? Wherever you want to go, I'll follow you. I'll be there with you. And if you get there and it's not really your home, then we go somewhere else. You've not lost anything. You're no worse off.
I'm just scared.
What I'm not sure about is that it feels like this world is trying to imitate the real world. And that amulet's real, right? It's not made out of corruption. If we follow this here, does it take us to an imitation of half over? Will the amulet work when we're back home? I don't know the answers, but I think you need to listen to yourself. I mean, we can give you some space and time to think if you want.
I also think on a pause. Is it? We've been saying half over, but was it not half over? I can't remember.
It was half over, but it was one of the things that
it was.
It was one of those things.
But Volu couldn't remember. So in
over.
Volu's head, it is still half over, even though it is half over. But
that's fine.
He still calls it half over. That's all that he had in his head. So it's like I still call home Aussie, even though it's not called Aussie. It's like, yeah. This feels real. And everything else around here doesn't. So can't feel anything else but to follow it. As I say that, can I examine the door and see if I'm getting any other feeling?
As you walk up to it, first off, again, it's definitely in terms of it's not a door. It looks material and physical from the outside, but the closer you get, the more obvious it is that it's energy. It's almost like you're looking at an energy barrier.
Like it's almost like it's transparent in the.
But so it is opaque, but it's almost like shimmering. And as you approach, first off, Volu, you start to see like your reflection approaching, as in like your own reflection in the shimmer. But then actually you see there's almost like you pause, and then the shimmer just looks away and keeps sort of moving around. And for a second again, Volu, you sort of find yourself eyes going slightly out of focus. This time, Volu is slightly more aware of it. And as you sort of put a hand to the energy, you get flashes of a halfling with same color hair as you. And for a second, it could be you. But they're moving around a space you've never seen before. There's some sort of like log cabin that you've never been in. And they're moving around sort of excitedly, and you can see there's another flash of people bringing them gifts, and it's like they've like map supplies and rope, and they seem really excited and they're shaking hands. And there's another flash of people like fairly sorrowfully giving a gift, but the halfling with the dark curly hair just smiling and hugging, and you almost get that feeling of I'm coming back. And then it flashes again, and that same halfling is carefully and cautiously stumbling through different bits of pink and purple terrain. And the last thing you sort of get, and you sort of actually the sort of confirmation and what brings you back to this sense, Volu, is the amulet sort of vibrates in your hand as you touch. And the last bit of flash you get is a worn, exhausted, bruised and battered halfling, hair drooped down and sort of soggy with exhaustion and sweat, raising up the gemstone towards the same cave but with no immaterial barrier there. And slowly this grey barrier shifting and sealing before they exhaustedly again something shifts, and then they shift off and your senses are brought back, and you sort of get the sense, Volu, that this is some sort of seal, and that you think it was done with the gem or with this amulet. And there's a sense in your mind like it could almost, you feel under your fingers, rather than full solid, it almost bends a little like rubber. And you feel like if you willed it to, you could go through. But also you aren't sure how to put it up again. And the one moment stopping you, Volu, is there was desperation and fear. That actually you think this barrier is protecting Arvovo as opposed to stealing you from it, if that makes sense.
Is there corruption already in there? Or? I know we don't know what's going on. It's just I didn't understand. I missed that bit.
It feels to me, and I don't know how much Volu's saying, but from what Liam's said, it feels like this place is corrupted, and the halfling was here and sealed off his home to stop.
That's what I was getting, like, when you're saying it's almost like that is still intact and still
and Volu again
uncorrupted,
sort of.
and then this is kind of the barrier in between.
So again, if you imagine, so people don't know anything about the corruption in general. If you had the ability to step planes and stumbled on it, like, pretty horrific discovery, one, but also, and actually, Volu, as you're gripping the gemstone and almost the stars start to light up again, there's maybe a good 100 of the stars for Volu that look slate grey, but they're all within a jump of this vicinity. And Volu, actually, as you look, there is so if you imagine, it's almost like there's all the different colours that you could see before, and there's almost like a bit of a star pattern stretching out from this point of slate greys that you're thinking in your mind, it's almost like, I think they're sealed as well.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking that.
One of the star's arms it gets thinner and thinner and thinner, but it stretches the longest before it finishes at its tip. As you focus in on that, it's not marked with anything. There's no symbols or markings in terms of to say what it is. But actually, you do now make sense of a symbol that is on all of these, which is a circle within a circle, and then a strong line diagonally through it. And you think that's
I swear I've seen that before.
Yeah, where though?
I'll have to find my old notebooks from the set. Like, I swear we have had that symbol before. Oh,
what symbol? Sorry.
A circle within a circle and a strong line
a circle
through it.
and a line through.
Kind of like that.
I
have definitely done that before.
Was that on the in the vault? Or was that in the... I've got two, and let's face it, I don't remember shit. But I've either got something feeling that it was in the vault when it was Tenebrice was there. So Dante doesn't know about it. Or it was in the books in the library when you went looking for it.
It could have been in the books.
But for at least... Sorry, for at least in this sense, Volu, the previous user was using it to note sealed doorways, sealed portals.
Can I just ask a really stupid question? And it's so long ago that I don't even know if Liam will remember. You know the thing that happened before our first session where we were on the road and we had that item and we were attacked by darklings or whatever to get the item? Wasn't that item like a compass? And did that have symbols on it?
It was like a compass, and it had many, many, many different symbols on it.
Can I remember if any of those symbols on the compass looked like?
So Eleni and everyone can hear this. As this is happening this time, I'm going to be saying out loud, like, the feeling I got of this metal plate is, I thought it would lead me home, and I think it might, but now I'm thinking it's warding to protect those places, and it's almost like a chain reaction, and I'll kind of point the stars I can point out because I'm not even sure that they can see what I can see.
I think we can see the stars, but not what colour they are. I think you're seeing the colours.
And then, if you want to carry on, I was saying I'll jump in after you, but you were saying you were halfway through thinking.
I feel like Ichi would say not to break something if we don't know how to protect. He'll, and anyone can say that he doesn't say this if I've got this wrong, but I'm feeling Ichi would err on the side of caution because adding additional planar beings that we don't know much about and going into infecting their worlds isn't a safe thing to do. So we should keep this, know where it is, and some point come back to potentially see if we can enter it safely. But until we know more, it is not a good idea.
I think I agree that Ichi would have that point of view.
Okay, now that everyone's kind of more in the loop, can I go this? I'm seeing this way, but I'm not sure about these over here. And can I point to one of the ones with colours?
Yeah. So, as you sort of pick out a colour, are you going for any colour in particular, or just a random one?
So, give me an array of colours I can see, and I'll pick one.
Like literally, literally every sort of like level of the rainbow as you could imagine it. If there are the obvious ones that jump out, and actually, Volu, there are more red, green, and like golden ones. But there is literally like a slightly lighter shade of green, a slightly darker shade of green, purples to pinks to blues to and actually for Volu that has understanding, and if you are thinking this is the planes,
I was drawn to the green ones.
Definitely you could. And as you sort of motion over again, as you motion over some of them, lots of them don't have any writing. Right? Lots of them don't seem to have been noted. But you pick one of the ones that is closer to the like the outstretch of grey. And it does have a little marking that says the homeworld tree, which you know is a portal door. So if you imagine if you wanted to go anywhere from the Feywild, a good way to do it is to have the ritual that connects you to the plane you need to go to, but the doorway, basically the homeworld tree, is able to be any doorway. Now, it's usually under lots of protections and not just for anybody to walk up and just... But you have used it with Tanabori before while she was traveling from Fey to Material.
Okay, I've reiterated that. Okay, what do you think? We can go check that out, guys, or do you want? There's other things. There's ones that are red looking, and there's ones that are gold looking. That could be other places we could look, but just me.
Our aim is to get out of this world and back into ours somehow. I mean, if going through the Feywild or through this homeworld tree is a way of doing that, I'm down with it. It's sort of.
Well, I'm saying I'm aware I've just run off here. I don't want to run off again now that I'm more level-headed. And as I'm saying that, I kind of have a furrowed sense of like, I thought I was gonna find my way home, but now I can't because that place is sacred and untouched, and I don't want to ruin that.
In terms of, I mean, I know distance doesn't seem to matter very much here, and things keep changing. But obviously, Volu's just run a certain distance to get to this cave, right? To get to this star. How far-ish is this homeworld tree star? Is it? Would we even know how to get there from here? Like, how would we?
Are we in the Feywild right now? Because things keep changing.
But it's corrupted, isn't it? It's like it feels like a copy of the Feywild, maybe.
But it's the corruption is in the Feywild, wasn't it? What?
It was, yeah.
Tanabori's little person said.
I thought maybe that was just a copy, like the stuff we've been seeing in there.
Didn't they say something along the lines of? Now, and please correct me if this was out of game knowledge or if this was in game knowledge. Did they not talk about sealing off and if they cut off part of the material plane, there will be part of the.
So they definitely did. Some of the Feywild would go with.
Feywild.
However, they didn't achieve that ritual. Lyrics have stopped it.
But my point is that Feywild has been infected, and currently, all our laws, all our magics, and everything have now been affected. Things have changed, and we seem to be able to morph the world purely by thinking about it. All of these things could be Fey.
Each would probably say, I don't think this is the Feywild. It does not read like the Feywild. There is Fey energy all over the place, but not in the land.
Volley,
this place feels like a candle. It's almost like you would light a candle and you'd feel somewhere, but it's just a scent. It's not the real thing. That's how it feels to me.
None of us have talked about the fact that we're different, and that I certainly don't have. I'm not as strong as I was. I mean, Volo, do you still have the ability to send messages to people? Could you reach out to Kanda or to Tanabori or someone? We've not really had time to stop and think properly, but
I think maybe let us potentially pitch up a tent or something. If we can think up the land to seal us or something. I think
at this point I'll put the amulet in the lead box and close it.
Let us camp, let us rest. Some of us need resting more than others. Ichi, your armor looks absolutely fucked. I know. Thank you for noticing. And so maybe it is a good point to I don't know, you've got better control of the land than any of us, Volu, it seems. Maybe we can.
Ichi would also probably say, before you put the box fully away, I mean, is there anything on there that helps us? Did they mark a safe place? I don't know what would be safe here.
Give it another waft and see if we can see anything.
Give me an instinct.
I want to aid him, and if I'm able to.
Yeah. Give him a D6.
I'm actually going to spend 2 hope, so he gets a D10.
Okay, nice.
D10.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Okay, that gives me a grand total of 15. I am. What am I gonna do? Yeah, I'm gonna add my other prayer dice to make it 16, just to be sure that we find somewhere.
Okay, with hope or without hope?
With hope.
Okay, mark yourself a hope. Oh, no.
I can't. I'm maxed out. I'm already on 6 hope.
No, no. Should be spending more.
I've been trying, but every time I've spent it, I've
rolled
with hope and got it back.
Well. But yes, so Volu, as you sort of bring it up and take a look, as you sort of start to think about safe spaces, quite a few start to light up. But actually, as you sort of focus in more, first off, now there is a singular point that you didn't notice it before, but it is brighter. And as you sort of zoom in on it again, that's the Arvovo point. And you think that the point that you're closest to or standing on is viewable by being brighter. For Volu, again, person or person wielding the amulet. And there are a few in this vicinity that are marked as safe. It's almost like got a little camp symbol. But also in the center, quite close to where you are right now, is a very large red one marked with a skull crossbones. Don't go anywhere fucking near this point.
Okay, I'll avoid that one.
So there's maybe like two of these sort of safe markers.
Which one's further away from the don't go near that?
Yeah, you definitely pick one that's slightly further from the don't go near that. And again, as you sort of focus in and almost touch it in the space, it all disappears. And again, you just feel this like tugging feeling in the center of your chest.
Okay, this time I'll grab Eleni and Ichi's hands and be like, come with me. And
cheers.
I've only got 2 hands.
And you move again through the space, this time moving more cautiously, not requiring a roll, as you, again, things start to pass. And now that you're connected to Volu, you are also experiencing it like zoom past you as opposed to like appear in the vicinity and take you out sort of stuff. And eventually you sort of step out into it's pure, like, again, almost pure slate grey, but it's the outline and visage of a small turreted, like, castle, like a tower, not castle, tower. And the only thing that isn't slate grey is a heavy wooden door with no handle or lock, but just an indent in the centre.
I'm waiting for Volu to do something. He's led us here.
Don't put the pressure on me. Tag team roll. Can I do a tag team roll? Someone help me.
To be fair, at the minute, no roll necessary. As you're looking, Volu, this looks like the tower itself maybe looks like it's 20 foot in diameter. And it only goes up maybe about 10 foot high, but it has the full-blown, like, turreted, as if it is battlements. And as you get a bit closer, Volu, firstly, the wood of the door looks like the same darkened iron wood. And the indent is roughly the same size as the amulet you were just holding.
Okay. I'm just aware that you've got 10 fear still.
I'm more aware that I'm more aware that it's 5.
It's 10.
No, I'm on 8.
You're on 8. I was worried.
Oh, he spent some. Oh, like that's still. Yeah, I was just like, he's got a lot of fear, and like he's letting me. He's been leading me down a few paths.
Dante, not paranoid at all.
Dante, not just like, if you're worried, give it to me. I'll unlock the door.
Volu will instantly give him the.
I unlock the door.
Kind of very behind them.
And as you sort of click it in, and the door almost first like hisses as if it was previously sealed.
Can I have my bow knocked just in case? Yeah.
And as it opens, you see a normal, not corrupted living room. And that is where we will call this week's session. Thank you very much for playing. As always, thank you very much for listening. If you're enjoying our deep delve random move into Daggerheart and you want to see what happens next, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. If you've seen anything we've done wrong, please drop a comment in. I'm more than happy to hear from you guys. But as always, roll well. Bye.